What's up and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Jayson Courier from the Steve and Jay Show, and this is our weekly Ring of Honor review and reaction show. Tonight I will be reviewing and reacting to Ring of Honor episode number 320, which aired originally on November the 6th, 2017. And tonight is November the 10th, 2017, which means it is Veterans Day today. So a big thank you to all our servicemen and women out there. Thank you for serving our country. If you could, please, lost my thought there for a minute. If you could, please click subscribe down below and don't forget to click that notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. Tonight's Ring of Honor episode started out with a promo promoting the main event of the evening, which was scheduled to be War Machine taking on Motor City Machine Guns for the Ring of Honor Tag Team title. It was the in-ring promo that War Machine had cut here a few weeks ago. I believe it was after their match, the Tornado Tag match that they had against Tempura Boys and Coast to Coast, which was phenomenal. And it was the in-ring promo in which they said, you know, we're known worldwide as being dominant, and we're known for our domination everywhere, it seems, except for Ring of Honor, or by Ring of Honor, and saying that it is no more Mr. Nice Guy, and they are going to go out and they're going to basically take their opportunity and take the World Tag titles, whether Ring of Honor likes it or not. Pretty fun angle. It's good stuff. They're an awesome tag team too. Hanson's super fun to watch. They're both awesome, but the way Hanson moves around in the ring and the aerial stuff that he does is pretty good stuff. The evening itself started out just before the first match, and actually I believe the first match was being literally introduced, and they had some really bad news. They said that Mark Briscoe would not be getting his World Television Championship match tonight, as he was supposed to, because he had injured his elbow. They actually later on in the evening showed the dislocation. They didn't show it actually happening, but they showed the kind of aftermath of the elbow. And he dislocated his elbow and in a match a few days previous to tonight, and it wasn't pretty. It didn't look good. So he wouldn't be having his television championship match. It's not going to happen tonight. The first match of the evening was a triple threat tag team match between the Dawgs, Will Ferrara, and Rhett Titus. The Kingdom, represented by TK O'Ryan and Vinny Marseglia. Matt Taven would actually join Ian Riccaboni and Colt Cabana in commentary for this one. And the third member was Coast to Coast. Super fun tag. They were in the Tornado Tag Team match with War Machine. I don't believe they've picked up a win yet on Ring of Honor television. They're super fun to watch. They need to get themselves a win. They consist of LSG and Shaheem Ali. Sorry. Anyway, super fun tag team. They're one of the high flying type tag teams, and I love all that flippy dippy stuff. So they're right up my alley. I'm actually a big fan. I really want them to get their first win. They need to get themselves a win. TK O'Ryan's and LSG are the two that actually start out the match itself. TK does his chest slap thing on LSG and yells out TKO, does his little thing. LSG then gets a really pretty funny, just lays into him pretty good and gets a nice little slap on TK O'Ryan. Will Ferrara then tags himself in, which kind of became a theme of the evening. And these triple threat tag matches, there's a lot of drama when it comes to the tags. It's fun stuff. Ring of Honor does the triple threat tag match and the 6-man tag match really well. It's good stuff. Good. LSG then tags in his tag team partner Mustafa Ali, who, again, super fun dude to watch. There is a cool double team then by Coast to Coast. They get a cool tag team or cool double team then on Will Ferrara. Kind of throw him around a little bit. TK Ryan then tags himself in. Mustafa Ali Irish whips Ferrara into the ropes, and TK tags himself in at that point. Will Ferrara, though, at that point stays in the ring, even though TK had tagged him in. Mustafa Ali sends TK into the ropes with an Irish whip, and as he comes to the ropes, Will Ferrara pulls the top rope down, sending TK tumbling up over the top rope. Ring of Honor does awesome out of the ring action stuff, so here we go. We're out of the ring and good stuff's about to happen. LSG then gets into the ring, and Mustafa Ali and LSG kind of Irish whip each other in each direction, one rope to the other. LSG kind of fakes out his suicide dive, and the kind of mass on the outside, they kind of react to it, and they call it the big fake out, and Ali then comes and flies in and gives it the flipping suicide dive over the top rope of his own. Super cool. Again, LSG and Ali, both these guys do a lot of really, really cool stuff. I really hope they get a win soon. They really need to get a win. LSG then is, after his fake, he runs to the ropes. He's going to do his dive of his own, but Rhett Titus says, no, not today, gives him the big boot. Rhett can give some boots. He's pretty good at the big boot kick. Rhett then looks like he's going to go for some sort of a suicide dive of his own. But as he does, his partner Will Ferrara comes into the ring and kind of gets in the way, and they've got a cool little dynamic between the two of them where they almost look like they're fighting each other throughout the whole match, and he kind of looks frustratedly at Will Ferrara and ends up going over to Ferrara, grabs him, and throws his ass over the top rope. It was super cool. Some of the stuff they do is like I said, they almost fight each other while fighting their opponent. It's neat stuff, the way their little dynamic that they've got going as a tag team. I like it. Vinny Marseglia then kind of sneaks in and behind Rhett Titus and gives him a big boot, sends Rhett reeling outside of the ring. So now there's a pretty good group of people out there. And Marseglia goes to the apron and does a springboard off I believe the second rope, and kind of spins around and does a somersault onto the group. Pretty cool stuff by old Vinny there. He's another one that's fun to watch. Ring of Honor's just got some awesome dudes. It's good stuff. On the outside of the ring now, after Marsalia's big rollover flip onto the crowd. TK O'Ryan and Vinny do the high five thing, and they're celebrating. And as they're celebrating, LSG in the ring, he climbs to the top rope and walks along the rope like Undertaker style, like tightrope, and from the rope does a spinning corkscrew splash thing onto the crowd. It was super cool. LSG super fun to watch. Again, I can't believe that these guys don't have a win yet. It's a conspiracy. The kingdom doesn't have the conspiracy. LSG and Mustafa Ali have the true conspiracy. They need a win. They cut to break after the LSG spinning corkscrew off the rope. And as they came back from break, Mustafa Ali is in the ring, and he's in the wrong part of the ring kind of thing. He is getting worked over by the Kingdom. They're doing some cool work with him in the corner. Vinny runs to LSG, and I believe he gives him a back forearm or a back elbow, or maybe just a running forearm. Knocks LSG off the apron to the outside of the ring. He then turns his attention to Mustafa Ali, who's the legal man. As Ali manages to work his way out of their double team, he turns to tag his partner LSG, but there is no LSG. He got knocked off the apron by Marsaliah. He then is forced to choose between tagging Rhett Titus or Will Ferrara, both who seem to, again, they've got that dynamic of they're almost fighting each other. They pretty much are fighting over who gets to be tagged in. As the two of them are standing there fighting, and then they want to be tagged. They want to be the one tagged in. As Ali lunges to make the tag. On the outside of the ring, TK O'Ryan and Vinny Marsaliah had snuck up behind Ferrara and Rhett Titus, and they pulled them both off of the apron. So no tag. Mustafa Ali is still stuck being the legal man in ring. Mustafa Ali then has to deal with both Vinny Marsaliah and TK O'Ryan. He fights off their double team and manages to get the tag to LSG, who is now back on the apron and available for the tag. LSG comes in and does the hot tag thing, kind of cleans house a little bit, has some cool aerial stuff. He's, again, super fun to watch. Super fun to watch. He needs a win. Rhett Titus then gets re-involved in the match as Vinny Marsaliah is going against the ropes. He grabs the feet from the outside of the ring, pulls Marsaliah outside to him outside the ring. He then kind of does like a springboard thing off of the ropes from the outside of the ring and then slams into Marsaliah into the barricade. And as he does that, though, he still holds up Marsaliah, kind of shoves him towards the ring, and from the apron, Will Ferrara has a pretty cool tornado DDT to the outside of the ring. Awesome stuff. Good. Will Ferrara's fun, still fun to watch. I really like. At first I didn't like the whole Dawgs thing at all. Like I didn't like it at all. But they're kind of starting to grow on me. Like I said, I kind of like the whole dynamic that they've got going, where they're basically fighting each other and they don't like each other. And it's good. I like it. Will Ferrara then wraps up LSG, gives him the I don't know, it's finisher. I don't know what it's called, if it's BOL, BLL, Ian yelled it quite enthusiastically twice, and I listened to it like 17 times, and I can't quite make out what he says. I Googled Will Ferrara's moves. I've read articles of descriptions of his matches. I can't seem to find what it's called. I've tried BOL, BLL. If anybody knows, please let me know. Because I'm quite curious what it is that Ian's yelling. After the move by Ferrara, there is then a double kind of soccer kick on LSG by Rhett Titus and Will Ferrara. Rhett Titus then continues to use Will Ferrara as a weapon. He slings him into the corner onto LSG. There's a splash by Ferrara into the corner after he's flung by Rhett Titus. Rhett Titus picks up Ferrara, and basically Ferrara sticks his feet out, and Rhett is using him as a battering ram now with his feet. Rhett is still holding Will Ferrara after slamming his boots into I believe it was LSG, and Will Ferrara yells, "Hey, put me down," and Rhett Titus does the okay thing and literally just dumps Will Ferrara down onto the mat. It's like their dynamic is really cool. I really like what they do. It is fun. As Will Ferrara is now laying back to the mat, and Rhett Titus is in front of him. He grabs his feet. We've seen this one before. Grabs the feet of Ferrara and slingshot kind of flings Ferrara over him with a splash onto, I believe it was still LSG as the legal man. Mustafa Ali then comes in and breaks up the pinfall attempt by Ferrara, kind of gets off a little bit of offense then on Ferrara. The two then set up their signature move, coast to coast. They lock Ferrara's legs up. Mustafa Ali goes to one corner while LSG goes to the other. They come flying in, and it's quite a jump for both of them, and they landed it. Honestly, I thought that was it. I figured that they were going to finally give these guys a win, and it was going to be in this crazy match, and I popped pretty good. I thought that was it. I thought Coast to Coast had this one. However, TK O'Ryan and Vinny Marseglia managed to get into the ring and break things up before there can be a pin attempt by Coast to Coast. They being the Kingdom, land a pretty cool double team on LSG, sending him out. LSG's out now, and Vinny Marseglia then picks up LSG into a fireman's carry. TK O'Ryan then picks up Vinny Marseglia in a kind of like a fireman's carry, but rolls as he does it. Vinny rolls up over the top of TK, and TK slams Vinny and LSG down to the mat. It was a really, really cool move. I don't really know what it's called, but it was really, really cool. So, ding, ding, ding. Vinny Marseglia pins LSG, and the Kingdom pick up the win. Super cool move again. I wish I knew what it was called, but it was awesome. Worth a watch. Check it out. Go to ringofhonor.com and check it out. After the match, of course, the Kingdom had to grab the mic, and they cut a promo, and it was one of their "there is a conspiracy against us" type promos. So they're working that angle. That's cool, I guess, I suppose. But it'll be a fun match once they finally get their 6-man tag title match. I can guarantee you that. There was then a replay from Global Wars from a couple of nights previous, in which Cody's in the ring and he is holding out his hand and on mic saying, "I'll tell you what, to the best fan out there, you can come into this ring right now and you can kiss the ring. You can kiss my ring." So a American flag masked fan comes to the ring and Cody's lets him kiss the ring, and he says, "You know what, I'll tell you what," and he grabs the fan's phone and they're doing the selfie thing, and as they're posing for the selfie and everybody's all snuggled close, the fan takes off his mask, and who is it but the Dalton Castle? So holy smokes moment. The announcers are yelling. I'm assuming it was Ian yelling, "Get him out of there," kind of thing. What's he doing in there? Dalton Castle, I hope gets to actually get in the ring with Cody soon, because they're playing it up pretty good. They're doing a good job. I can't wait. Flip Gordon then cut a promo of his own. It was like a backstage type in front of set promo, saying that he is going to form his own faction to battle the Bullet Club, and he's going to get together some guys that have nothing to lose and everything to gain, just like him. So kind of interested to see what kind of group old Flip Gordon gets together. I'm curious if it's going to be a group of guys that are already Ring of Honor wrestlers, or is this going to be some guys from New Japan maybe? Is this going to be some guys we've never heard of? I'm pretty curious what Flip's got cooking. Cody the American Nightmare, I didn't say it, Cody the American Nightmare then came and cut an in-ring promo, his pre-match in-ring promo like he's been doing. He is on mic and he's saying that he is I believe he says he's a company man, and he's going to give the fans what they want to see. At one point, they're all chanting Dalton Castle, of course. At one point, he calls for Ian Riccaboni to leave the booth and come to ringside. And he says, "Hey, Ian, I know you don't want to challenge me." I think they tried to play it as Cody was calling out Ian for being the guy that, since he picked Cheeseburger and the dude from the young guy from the dojo. I don't know if they were trying to make it seem as though Ian Riccaboni was the next guy that Cody was picking, but if that's what they were going for, they missed. So Cody says, I know you don't want to challenge me for this title, but is there somebody that you would like to see? And the fans are going crazy, and Ian just kind of nods his head, and Cody gives him the mic, and all he says is just two words. He says, "Dalton Castle." Probably could have done a better job, but crowd goes crazy. Of course, that's who everybody wants to see. Cody says, "Is that it? Is that who you want to see?" Cody's awesome. And he says, "Unfortunately, Dalton Castle is not here tonight." So, crowd does the aw thing. He says, "Although Dalton Castle is not here this evening, please let me introduce to you your new number one contender." And this is actually where he introduced, this is the match with the kid. So this is the match with the kid from the dojo. He says, introducing Philadelphia's favorite son, and he points to the ramp, and he says, Ryan Nova. Ian and Colt kind of do the, is this like, do I know this guy kind of thing? Is this somebody I know? And finally Ian says, yeah, I've called one of this guy's matches, and he's a young up-and-comer. He's only been, he said he's only been in Ring of Honor for 8 months now, and he looked like he was pretty young, not developed. It was kind of a funny moment after Cody had introduced him as Philadelphia's favorite son. The ring announcer announced him as being from New Jersey, which I thought was pretty clever. Cody had no idea who this guy was. Cody then holds out the hand to do the kiss of the ring thing, in which Ryan Nova stuck Cody's finger in his mouth and sucked the ring off of his finger. Gross. So Cody Ryan Nova has Cody's ring in his mouth. Cody kicks him in the belly. Ryan drops the ring. Cody walks the ring over to the corner and tosses it to Ian, who is in the broadcast booth. So apparently Cody trusts Ian Riccaboni with the ring. As he's doing that, Ryan Nova, his back is turned to him, so Ryan Nova tries to pick up the roll-up pin attempt. Colt Cabana's yelling, please, 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 but no, he kicks out on 2. Cody then takes back over the match. He hits the crossroads, and Ian Riccaboni's doing that's it, it's over. You tried, kid. You came, you saw, you didn't conquer kind of thing, and you gave it a good go, though. Cody pins Ryan Nova, but as the 2 count hit, he picks up the shoulder because he's not quite done with him yet. Right after that, he pulls Nova away from the ropes, and every time he sets up for this, I think he's setting up for the figure 4, but it's not the figure 4. And actually, I'm not the only one that gets that feeling, because he started to set it up, and I heard some woos come up in the crowd. So he starts to set up the... it looks like he's setting up for a figure 4. I could swear he looks like he's setting up for a figure 4. Anyway, starts to set up for the figure 4, rolls over. It's the American Deathlock. He locks up the legs, and now he doesn't let go. So Ryan Nova has to tap. Ding, ding, ding. Cody, the champ, wins by submission. After the match, there was a surprise appearance by one Dalton Castle. After Cody had said he was not here this evening, he indeed is, and he's standing at the top of the ramp wanting to talk to Cody. He says, it was pretty funny, he says, "That's it, Cody, that's it." He says, that's what the richest contract in Ring of Honor history gets you. And he said, I think I speak for the fans, and I don't want to say that we're mad. He says, we're just disappointed. He says, he's walking down the ramp, and he said, now, Cody, you're a good, no, great, no, good wrestler. It's super fun. I don't even know what he was talking about after that, because I was giggling at him saying that. He then says that Cody's title defenses have been a little lackluster of late, which pretty darn true. Especially if they were playing up the whole he's going to fight Ian next thing, and that was their angle that they were trying to get to. But anyway, he needs to fight Dalton Castle. I don't know when it's going to happen, but he's obviously going to fight him. It will happen. Cody then grabs the mic, and he is going to talk back to old Dalton Castle, and he addresses him, and he says, you know what? I'll tell you what. He says, with my lineage and with my connections, kid, you can be a star. and I could talk to somebody, and I could probably get you a developmental contract just like all your buddies went and signed and left. So think about it. He says, if you want me to make some calls, I can land you a developmental contract. And he says, he exits the ring. He's still talking. And he says, he's now face to face with Dalton Castle. And he says, I'm going to walk by you because I can look in your eyes right now and I can tell that this is something that you want. So think about it. And he walks past Dalton Castle. As he walks past Dalton Castle, Dalton lets him get a few steps up the ramp and then goes on the attack. And he is all over the champ. He bounces him from one barricade to the other and then up into the ring, beats him up a little bit in the ring, does his little spinny face slam thing that he does. Awesome. He grabs the mic then and tells Cody, he says, you know what? I thought about it. And he says, nah. He says, I love it here. And I'm going to go ahead and stay. And a matter of fact, I'm going to take your title from you too. And he throws the mic onto Cody, grabs the belt, and holds it up high. Good stuff. Awesome. I hope he does get his title shot. I don't think he's going to win it. I think Cody's holding on to that title until September 2018 when he can take on Bryan Danielson. That is my prediction. And then Danielson will take it off of him at that point. And then hold it forever, hopefully. But maybe it'll have a stopover with Dalton Castle, but I don't think so. I think Cody's holding on to it. They then cut a tribute type promo for Bully Ray. They showed him doing what looked like a flat out, this is it, I'm retiring speech. They had the broken table in the middle of the ring, which was pretty cool, like a little statue for him. And he said, hey, I think everybody pretty much can tell this is about it for me. The crowd was chanting, thank you, Bubba. Awesome stuff. I really, really, really wish that he would have been able to go out on his own. I'm sure he had to be near retirement as it was. It just really sucks that he had to go get a concussion and be forced to retire. I was really hoping that it was kind of an angle that they were working and that he was actually going to be able to wrestle again. They were just kind of playing it up, but sure doesn't seem like it. And actually, Colt even said when they went back to the booth after showing the promo, he said, a guy like that, a guy like Bully Ray, you expect him to wrestle forever, and it just doesn't work that way, which, good point. But again, I just wish he would have been able to do it on his own terms, which I'm sure within the next couple of years he was probably getting to. So, too bad. They then cut a Jay Lethal promo / interview in which Jay Lethal said, hey, you know what? I want to get to the premier position in this sport again, and I want to be at the top again, and therefore I am going after the World Championship belt. Again, I still think Cody's going to hold on to that thing until Bryan Danielson comes up, but Jay Lethal against Cody Rhodes, I will take every day, all day, and that'll be fun. So hopefully that happens too. Dalton Castle again, hopefully that happens. Hopefully Jay Lethal's next after Dalton Castle, because Cody needs to get back to actually having some real opponents for that belt. When he first got it, he was defending that thing all over the place. So I think it's kind of funny that this is the angle that they're working after he built himself up by being that fighting champion and going to New Japan and defending the title there and defending it all over the place with very worthy opponents. And now they're doing he just wants these powder puffs. So, I don't know. Hopefully he ends up, like I said, hopefully Dalton Castle is next and Jay Lethal after that. That'd be cool. I'd take that. And then I'll take Dalton Castle against Jay Lethal after that, too. At that point, they replayed the match where Mark Briscoe dislocated his elbow, and it was effing brutal. He was flying from the corner and went to brace himself as he was flipping upside down on the mat one-handed, and that arm, the elbow, just gave out. And they didn't show the actual give out, but they cut it as it was happening and then came back and showed the elbow afterwards, and it was really bad. It was not good. And anyway, after they showed that mess, they showed Mark Briscoe then in an interview backstage. He's saying, to heck with that. I want my championship, my television championship match that I earned. I want it, and I want it next week. Yeah. Jay Briscoe then comes in and he says, wait a minute, you want what? You deserve what? And he says, that's a singles title, you know that. And he says, yeah, and I earned it. And he says, you're going to be television champion. He says, yeah. And he says, with that arm? And he says, man, what's your problem? And he says, we're a tag team, man. You need to quit messing with this single stuff kind of thing. And which is funny because I believe he's a 2-time world champ. So now apparently he has, when the shoe's on the other foot, apparently he doesn't like it too much. And I think that's the whole thing they're playing, which I guess if the Hardys can fight each other, the Briscoes can fight each other. I'm not a big fan, but we'll see. Maybe I'll become a bigger fan of it because it looks like that's what's going down soon. The main event of the evening was then up, and it was War Machine versus the Motor City Machine Guns for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship. This was one awesome, awesome match. It had a stinker of a finish, but awesome, 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 awesome match. War Machine started out super fast like they do. That's what they do. And just boom, right in the beginning of the match, they land the fallout. I thought that was going to be it. I'm looking at the time left and I'm thinking, well, is there another match after this? Because they're about to end this thing in like 5 minutes into the match. And Ian's yelling, we have new champions, blah, blah, blah. And I really thought that this was it. As they go for the pinfall, though, on Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley comes flying in from the top ropes and kicks the back of Raymond Rowe. So breaks up the pinfall attempt. I really thought that was going to be it, and they were just going to totally squash these guys and take the titles. Which would have been kind of a cool angle anyway, but not so cool for Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, but they could handle it. So I really thought that was going to be it. I thought that was game over. Hanson then gets Shelley into the corner and kind of works him over with a few punches. Hanson's awesome. This match, War Machine pretty much beat up Motor City Machine Guns, and Motor City Machine Guns used their athleticism and their just basic tag team ability to kind of stay in this match, and they do some pretty cool double team work throughout the match. Hanson, of course, is an absolute just stud. The way he moves in that ring is super, super fun. Eventually, Raymond Rowe ends up working on Chris Sabin. He's beating on him. He gives him a pretty brutal knee. He eventually picks up Hanson and he runs him into the corner and uses Hanson as a battering kind of splash to Sabin in the corner. He picks up Hansen and body slams him on top of, I believe it was still Chris Sabin in there. He body slams Hansen onto Sabin. They do a lot of really cool double team stuff. Do War Machine. They're just big, powerful, athletic dudes, and they both move around so well. It's just fun to watch. Raymond Rowe then kind of Irish whips Chris Sabin into the corner, and Alex Shelley jumps over the rope into his corner and kind of flips Sabin up out of harm's way, basically onto the apron. There's a tag then by a legal tag then by Alex Shelley. Chris Sabin though is in ring, and he dives at Raymond Rowe, who grabs Shelley, or grabs Chris Sabin. He's got Sabin across his chest, and in comes flying from the top ropes, comes flying Alex Shelley. Pretty cool little double team, gets the big man off of his feet. Looked like at that point that Motor City Machine Guns, like they were starting to get a little bit of momentum going on their side. So I kind of thought that maybe the whole match I thought War Machine's walking away with the titles in this one. And anyway, but Motor City Machine Gun do they're really cool. They springboard from the top rope, over the top rope. Raymond Rowe standing on the outside of the ring. They springboard up over the top rope and give Raymond Rowe a double kick. Then their pretty cool suicide dive that I like that they do, where Alex Shelley splits the ropes and Chris Sabin does the suicide dive through the opened ropes. Lands on, I believe he took out both members of War Machine with that one. Motor City Machine Gun then do their cool little transition that they do. Chris Sabin then rolls Raymond Rowe back into the ring after giving the big suicide dive. There's a pretty cool little double team as Sabin is holding Raymond Rowe. There's a drop kick by Alex Shelley, and Chris Sabin kind of slams Raymond Rowe face first into the mat as he's being drop kicked. Pretty cool little double team, neat offense by Motor City. Alex Shelley then calls for two boots, which Chris Sabin sits on the second rope and extends the feet out. Alex Shelley comes over and slams Raymond Rowe's head into Chris Sabin's feet. Cool stuff. Neat little maneuver. They cut to break, and as they come back from break, their Motor City Machine Guns are doing their double team work on Raymond Rowe. Chris Sabin then attempts to give Raymond Rowe, I believe he was going to do some sort of a splash. Raymond, though, catches him and slams him into Alex Shelley. So War Machine's taking back over. Raymond Rowe then gets the big tag to Hansen, who comes in the ring and annihilates Motor City Machine Guns. He's super fun to watch. I keep saying that, I know, but he is. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin end up in opposite corners. At that point, Raymond Rowe does his thing where he runs from corner to corner and gives each opponent a big splash, yelling the entire way. Super fun stuff. Hansen then gives an Irish whip to Sabin and sends him, when he's done splashing the hell out of everybody, he Irish whips Sabin into Shelley in the other corner. He charges into the corner afterwards, and as he's approaching, Chris Sabin ducks out of the way, so Hansen gets the splash, but he only gets it on Alex Shelley instead of both. There is then a enziguri by Chris Sabin on Hansen that flops Hansen in one shot, which was pretty interesting, but flops over Hansen with the big enziguri. There's then a huge knee by Raymond Rowe on Chris Sabin. He gave Sabin a couple of knee shots that looked like they hurt. Raymond Rowe then charges into the corner where Alex Shelley is, and Alex grabs Raymond Rowe and slams Raymond Rowe, though, into the turnbuckle. Alex Shelley then turns his attention to Hansen. He Irish whips Hansen into the ropes, who does his little flippy-dippy thing where he flips over and springs against the ropes and then comes back at Shelley. Super cool stuff. He does, I believe he did a flying back elbow after doing all that onto Shelley. It's ridiculous. The crowd is just going crazy at that point. Hansen grabs Alex Shelley, gets him into the fireman's carry. Before he can do anything with him, though, Chris Sabin comes flying in with a super kick, gets Hansen to drop Shelley. There is then a double enziguri, I believe, by Chris Sabin, combined with a super kick by Alex Shelley on Hansen, putting down the big man again. Motor City Machine Guns then hit the dream sequence, which is super cool stuff. Lots of flippy dippy cool timing stuff going on. I love that kind of stuff. They land that. They get double kicks onto Hansen, so they're getting some good double teamwork now on Hansen. Alex Shelley goes to the top rope for some offense, and Hansen manages to beat down Chris Sabin and then turns his attention to Alex Shelley on the top rope, knocks Shelley off of the top rope. There is a cartwheel by Hansen, again showing off his agility. As he spins around, though, Chris Sabin gets him with a quick kick to the gut. So whatever he was up to, it was stopped short. Raymond Rowe then comes into the ring, though. He's back into the mix, and he and Hansen double team on Chris Sabin. They eventually land Thor's hammer. Crowd's going crazy. I'm thinking that that's it, and Thor's hammer is a super fun move. It's where they send the opponent into the ropes and Raymond Rowe throws the opponent up into the air, and Hansen comes down with the slam to finish it. And as they land Thor's hammer, Hansen then does a suicide dive to the outside of the ring, takes out Alex Shelley. Again, I'm thinking this is it, because they've taken out the man in the ring, they can get the pin, and now they've taken out his tag team partner, so he can't break up the pin. So I'm thinking that this is it. They then try to set up for a second fallout, though, and they're going to really drive it home as Raymond Rowe is holding Chris Sabin up, and Hansen is climbing to the top rope. This was going to be it, but on mic you hear Kaz saying, "Hey, great match, guys." And Christopher Daniels comes running up to the apron, and he's standing on the apron, still on the outside of the ring, but on the apron. And he is spraying Hansen with silly string. Yes, silly string. Cool. So, the Addiction have ruined yet another awesome Ring of Honor match. Frankie Kazarian's on the mic. He's yelling at War Machine, have Christopher Daniels cornered in the ring. He's yelling, "Hey, Chris, spray him, string him." He sprays him. He gets hit. Kaz yells, "Hey, don't hit him. Hey, watch out." That kind of thing is really not fun. I was not a fan. As Hanson, I believe, gave Christopher Daniels a big clothesline and sent him outside of the ring. As he's doing that and he's paying more attention to Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian on the outside of the ring, Chris Sabin comes swooping in and gets a roll-up pin. Ding, ding, ding. The Motor City Machine Guns defend their title thanks to the Addiction. Boo. I really thought I thought that they were going to have this be a squash match, which would have sucked for Motor City Machine Guns, but when they hit Fallout early in this match, I thought that was it. I thought that was going to be it early. And instead, they have this BS finish with the Addiction coming in, and the sooner they get off of this whole, the Addiction are against all things good in Ring of Honor, and they're here to ruin all things good in Ring of Honor, the better. Because not a cool angle. I'm over it already. This was a good match that was ruined, and War Machine should have been tag team champs. So, boo. Boo to the Addiction. If Ring of Honor wants the fans to hate the Addiction because they're ruining good matches, they're doing a good job of doing that, which is probably what they're going for. So good job, as always, even though I don't like it. So anyway, that was the review this week. Thank you guys for listening. I got a little bit long this week. I know I need a partner, but anyway, I'm trying to find somebody to do the shows with me so you don't have to just listen to me. So I'm working on it. I don't know. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Very much appreciated. Let me drone on about my wrestling. I love talking wrestling, and I really appreciate you guys listening, even though I doubt anybody's still listening. If you could please click the subscribe button down below, and don't forget to click that notification bell to receive notification when we post our new stuff. You can also find us on Facebook. Seems to be our best way to communicate with people. Stephen J Show, you can find us on there. Jayson A. Mark, you can find us on there. Jayson A. Mark, you can find us on Facebook there as well. At Stephen J Show on Twitter. You can shoot us an email if you like, thesteveandjshow@gmail.com. And anyway, thank you guys. Much appreciated. If you could, clicking subscribe is the best thing you could do for us. Very much appreciated. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Have a good night.